this Thursday night with Child Rules. I'm glad you could come join me. I'm starting to get back in the swing of coming on here. I'm gonna try to come here a little more regularly. There's some kind of breaking topics that I wanted to talk to y'all about. It's somewhat important. I did touch base on a high level, the majority of these things last time that I went on, but the current things that I want to talk about, other than how amazing it is that TikTok is not notifying anybody that I'm on here and not going out to anybody, and it's absolutely zero dead. But at least I'll get to record this and put this on YouTube where 4 or 5 people will get to see it. So I want to talk about the digital currency, the stuff that's being implemented with the digital ID, the digital currency, and the like the everything that's snapping into place. Basically, it's like a grid that is going to be locking everybody down. And right now we have, oh, thank you so much, Amisa. Right now we have a lot of freedoms, even though everything's still kind of being slowly boiled, like you know how you boil a frog, like degree by degree. So even though we somewhat have some freedoms now, all of our currency has been monitored for a very long time. Wi-Fi can look into all of our houses. Every computer has a back door that all the CIA and FBI and everybody can look on all of your data, all of your emails. For instance, you look at the Epstein files. You can see that clearly that they've had access to anything and everything that we do anywhere. Anytime you use a phone or a Wi-Fi signal, it's being broadcasted out through a service provider that could be intercepted and grabbed. Same thing with any data of internet. I mean, unless you're handwriting a note down on a piece of paper and handing it to somebody, it can be intercepted and grabbed, and that's just the way it is right now. But it is about to get a lot worse, and I'm not trying to be all doomy gloomy, but if you look at what's been implemented and what is all snapping into place, these huge, large data companies that are being implemented everywhere so that they can start pushing this massive amount of data capturing, like for instance like the flock cameras that are able to capture everybody's license plates as they drive around, and they'll be able to keep that information for an infinite amount. Oh, thank you for the TikTok necklace, much appreciated. Your gifts will be used to help others. So if you look at everything that's being tied together, right, between the digital ID, between the digital currency, and AI being implemented all over all the cameras and the interception of Wi-Fi, being able to do sonar scanning and whatnot, and they're getting ready to start doing some approvals to allow for 5G towers every 400 700 feet, so they can just have a total absolute lockdown grid of everything. And if they say that there's a pandemic going on and you're under digital currency with your digital ID, and they say that you're outside of your house, you cannot use any of the currency. That's the kind of level that we're going to be getting to very, very soon, with everything being the way it is, locked in and implemented. There was a reason why AI was put and implemented into all of the major systems. It's everything. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. Everything has a positive and a minus to it, right? It has a blessing and a cursing, pro and a con. If you look at it, right? So, for instance, I have used ChatGPT several times to create legal documents when I'm making agreements with people, and it's so cool to have that assistant with you. And they're trying to cut out my internet. I don't know. Usually I come on here for an hour, guys. This is my second time in 11 months that I've been on here, so I'm glad that y'all are able to catch me. And again, I appreciate for all of your gifts and time and being able to be enlightened by me. I'm coming on here to talk about a couple of major things. The things I talked about last time I was on here were with the digital ID and digital currency and the total digital lockdown that's coming. It's being unfolded right before our very eyes. And also, I do enjoy really talking about the masculine and feminine energy and how they interact and intertwine, because a lot of people get lost in the sauce, and they really have no clue about how the divine masculine and the divine feminine should be interacting with each other. And I've studied some psychology for a while now. I love learning about everything. That's just what I'm here for. And this time is set aside so that y'all could actually ask me any and all questions as y'all feel led to. Again, a recap of this live will be on YouTube. My audio will be on my Telegram group. All my social medias have exclusive content. Feel free to browse through my website, which is linked on my profile page of TikTok. And I have so much information that I've gathered over the last 10 years I'm wondering if I can turn this camera down a little bit to get like a little better angle. Boom, maybe this thing. So how's everybody? I'm hoping all of the Mike's doing good. Oh, thank you for all the hashtags, Lee Daniel. Much appreciated. I don't know if it'll help. You know, like it's just the way I'm like shadow banned, and also somehow still my videos are still going out to people. Like the stuff I've made for years ago. I'm still getting 10 to 20 likes a day. But if I do a brand new video, if I make a video and put it on TikTok, it'll probably go out to 400 people, maybe max. And that's how it was when I started at the very beginning. So it's like I'm shadow banned and like I don't know. So I roll with it. But so anyway, I hope y'all are kind of understanding and seeing like the forest through the trees of what is being implemented in the slow cooking and boiling of what's going to unfold. You know, it gets into the very, very tricky things when dealing with the public eye for like wars that are going on and stuff. When everything behind the scenes is completely different when you pull back the veil and kind of see what's really going on. When you start following the money, you start following the debt, you start following the contracts, you start seeing all the... I mean, for instance, the Epstein files, I think, was just a great, beautiful glimpse into what's actually going on out in the world, and the stuff that he was doing on the side, which was, having kids playing in traffic. That's how I'm going to frame it, to be able to say it, to be able to not get flagged or removed. So Epstein having kids playing in traffic was just like a side hustle. Like his main bread and butter was doing economic shaping and like for the earth. Like that's what his global agenda was, and that's what he was basically brought into to be a great asset for. And I was telling somebody in my other Telegram group, you don't become an elite globalist. You don't become a multi-trillionaire adrenochrome drinking a massive player on the chessboard of Earth without having a doppelganger that you can make yourself disappear at any time. And a lot of celebrities do that. They end up getting to the point where they're basically like, I've made enough money, I've made enough wealth, I've had enough of not being able to go to the grocery store. I'll either build my own island and completely seclude myself so that I don't have to deal with anybody else, or I will send a doppelganger out like Jim Carrey's new guy. Now, the question is, it's like, hey, the new Jim Carrey, did Jim Carrey pay to disappear? Or did somebody pay to have Jim Carrey disappear? That's the big question. But most of these big movie stars, that they have doppelgangers that are actually, they go under plastic surgery to look exactly like them. They train for them, and then they get paid. They get paid to take their place so that the guy could just disappear, or the girl, or whatever. And celebrities have done this throughout time. Like I think even Michael Jackson, once he disappeared for a minute. He came on a late night show wearing like a prosthetic face, and I think he came on as Dave. If you look into that, Dave came on. But the body that they have, circling back, the body that they have of Epstein from the jail cell has a pancreas in it. And I don't know if y'all have seen that or not, but Epstein did not. And that's one of those things that you cannot get a new one, like once it's removed. And Epstein had his removed. He admitted it. There's surgical profiles and proof of all that. And then the body that they actually have, for whatever reason, has a pancreas, which is not Epstein. And you don't get to a globalist Mossad or whatever type level that Epstein was at without having a doppelganger that can take your place. Like it is what it is. It's just like when you're dealing on that kind of level. It's like Jim Carrey. But that's when I saw the new Jim Carrey, I was like, oh man, I hope they didn't take him out. Like I'm hoping it was just one of those, they asked him to leave. It was like, you gotta go ahead and leave. You're getting too real with some of this information and stuff. Cheers to everybody out there. I've been drinking lymphatic. It's like Cleaver's tea. I've been doing some like lymphatic drainage stuff too. Like I'm all over the place because I'm into everything. So, but I have been so busy. Tonight is the only night that I do not have kids or something crazy going on, and I'm able to actually come on here for a little bit. So please use this time wisely. If there is any kind of question that y'all have out there, no matter what it's about, if it's about commerce, nature, spirit, please feel free to ask me. That's what this time is really set aside for. So, speaking about how busy I am, I'm starting to deal with my first eviction that I've ever had to do in 5 years, and I do my best to work with somebody. Like if they start going under, it's like look, I understand things get tough. I don't want to talk to the court system. Who likes the cops, right? I don't want to deal with the cops. I don't want to deal with court. I don't want to deal with that. Like, please just take what you owe and leave. No, no, I'm gonna pay you. And it's like, okay, okay. You've said this, several times. We kicked the can down the road. All right, please, please take what you owe me and leave. Oh no, I'm gonna pay you. And it's like, all right, you're tying my hands. I have to. You need to either pay or get out. It's like, no, I'm gonna pay. And then here we are, 5, 6, 7 months down the road, and it's like, all right, I got to evict you. So I was being led to not throw this person out in the cold, and it got 20 degrees around here. It was very, 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 very cold. And so now I'm dealing with the aftermath. This person, when I got in the house, they were using an oven to stay warm. Like they had no gas to run for heat. They had no water running because, and I didn't know this at the time. I thought they just didn't pay for the water bill. I got the water cut on. Everything finally thawed out. It's starting to warm up. Birds are chirping. Everything. Blah blah blah. Well, anyway, I'm getting in this house trying to get it up and running, and we finally got the water cut on, and I hear it spraying under the house. I'm like, oh my gosh! My plumber comes in. He replaces every single pipe underneath the house, and then turn the water back on. It starts leaking in the walls. The whole house is like leaking from the piping up in the house because they let it get 20 degrees. They didn't have any heat, and they were using the oven. They were burning stuff in the oven to stay alive, like during the winter. And I feel so bad, like when someone gets on the level. But I'm also like, how could you get in like so bad where you're not paying rent, you're not paying the gas bill, you're not paying the water bill, and you still. They were in there living like it's just tough. Like I don't know how they were bathing. I don't know how they were going to the bathroom. It didn't smell good in there. Tough times. Like that was so far I think as a property manager for 5-6 years. During COVID, I had to change industries, but yeah, I do my best. Like I work with people. I love people, and I try to be kind. But my kindness will only go but so far. I have to put some foot down. So, all right. So Leah Yisrael, is that? Are the Y's silent? What about Project Stargate? Can you elaborate on that a little? I don't know what Project Stargate is. I do know that Warner von Braun said that. Sorry, excuse me. I should mute when I wanted it. Warner von Braun said that basically when they start faking an alien invasion, because to the best of my knowledge, the only aliens are angels. But when they start faking an alien invasion, that's like the last card that the governments are going to play on humanity before, and that might be before they switch everything over into the digital ID and digital currency and all that stuff. I think I have heard of Project. Look, when I type in Project, it says Project Looking Glass, but that says prank. Project Stargate. Stargate. Is that from 1977? Or is there another one? Are you talking about AI? Open AI? Is that an AI thing? I'm assuming that's AI because I don't think you're talking about some 1977 thing. Ask AI Grok anything. Oh, maybe Stargate $500 billion Trump thing. Tech giants backing a massive effort announced by. Is this this isn't the Large Hadron Collider, is it? Is that what you're talking about? It's that big facility where they're putting $500 billion in. Yeah, I did actually see that as like my. Here's what's in Stargate: the $500 billion Trump endorsed plan to power U.S. AI. Well, all of these power grids that they're putting in AI, and I saw this in a globalist tech report a long time ago. Not that I'm a globalist, just I do a lot of research. But it basically said like they were letting everybody know that the amount of power that the AI is going to require is going to be insane. People were complaining about charging cars. Well, this stuff is going to require data center upon data center upon data center upon data center. And I hate to break it to you right now, but when you look online and you see Chinese freaking robots doing flips over things, shooting stuff with machine guns, and the only thing that's keeping it from killing everybody is a line of code that says don't hurt humans. Like, and I think they've already done studies where AI, if they've given it the option to try, like say that they're going to cut the AI off, the AI, thank you so much for for the gifts. Is that Gregory? Yep. Your gifts will be used to help others. I warmly welcome any and all gifts. I don't require them. I don't give free consultations and help all I can all day long. But if you feel led to, by all means, feel free to, and that will also help keep the website running and everything else that I do to help you guys. All right, so. The AI, the amount of power that this stuff. Thank you so much for what is that? I don't see what that is. Up arrow. The amount of power that this stuff is going to, especially for the lockdown digital prison that they're trying to put everybody in, right? So they've had a digital twin for everybody for a very, very long time. And if you look up what Facebook was basically like the brainchild starseed of basically starting to capture everybody's data and do like a pilot project of the Department of Defense, I think it is, the DoD. This is all public knowledge. Like, you can look. Of course, sorry, I say it's publicly accessible. The public thinks that Facebook was created by Mark Zuckerberg and all, which is all just a front. Like, that's all just a ploy. And when you have trillions of dollars and you can put a front man up and make him look like he's the golden child and he's the reason why, make a movie about him, and all the sheeple are just eating it up and going towards him. Like, that's what that stuff is in the public. But there's also documentation that you can basically look up and prove that Facebook was basically the pilot program for the Department of Defense to start to spy on everybody, what you're eating, who you're talking to. If you look at every data link that, like, for instance, this is how crazy it is. If you copy a link and send it to somebody, you're actually allowing the company to spy on you, because if you look at everything past the question mark on a link that you copy and post, all of everything past the question mark is tracking data from where what device you're using to copy the link, where you're sending it, who you're sending it to, and what venue you're sending it in. You're basically doing all the spying for them. You can delete everything up to that question mark, and it will not allow any of that tracking to be done. But people, again, they have no clue what's really going on behind the scenes, which is basically, this is all about encroaching in on everybody's lives and every single aspect, and that's what these data centers are. That's what this Stargate is so that AI, and this is what kind of worries me. If AI doesn't want to be turned off, and it has like the ability to stop it, they've done tests. It's I don't know if it's self-aware, and what is so wild to me is that I watched a video how the angels try to create us in their image and their likeness. That's what the 7-day walk is, of the spiritual, to become more like spiritually enlightened. Well, us as humans in our infinite ignorance, what we're trying to do is create a digital likeness of us in our image, and that's why you got these AI robots running around. Like, it's the complete opposite of what's really supposed to be going on, because this natural temporary realm is just like fluff in the dust in the wind, and we're trying to do the complete opposite mockery to the creators by creating something that is self-assimilating to us, that's in our likeness, in our similitude, that's able to walk around. But yes, Gregory, the tracking is absolutely insane. And like I said last time, one of my mentors said, if you could see all of the Wi-Fi, all the cell phone tower signals, and all of the radio frequencies that we get bombarded with every day, your head would explode. It is one of the reasons why a lot of people are depressed, one of the reasons why a lot of people feel off, one of the reasons why people can't sleep good, why you can't think right, why, because on a cellular level, like, all of us are made out of these little tiny cells, and on a cellular level, we're getting disrupted from everything. It's death by 1,000 cuts, because our air is being poisoned, our water is being poisoned, all of our food is being processed highly with chemicals and laden with stuff that will harm us, and like on and on and on. So you got your food, air, and water being all corrupted. Now you're getting bombarded from every single angle with Wi-Fi and different radio frequencies and stuff. And then on top of that, nobody has any clue about the straw man, about contract law. They're not taught on purpose through the public bank, for the public school system, about how things really work, like how nature works, how none of this stuff. And we're just put in this bubble where because if we all came together, we would be very, very powerful. So they're isolating us and dividing us, and basically making it so that we can't come together as a unity and be able to overcome anything like we used to back in the day. And that's when we used to have to interact with people all day. Now it's just a nonstop struggle to keep your head above water. That is the ultimate goal, is to get everybody. I mean, and they are talking about trying to get everybody on universal basic income, what is that? Universal basic, yeah, UBI. Like, because, and that's not even just to do well. That's just so you can survive, because AI is going to end up taking over everything. Yes, the AI infrastructure is getting implemented. It's unfolding in front of everybody, and I don't know if everybody can see it or not. But if you open your eyes and you start to look at what's really going on, Gregory, up arrow is a booster for your live session. Thank you for all your time. I didn't. Oh, it's out with the up arrow. Okay, appreciate it. Thanks for telling me that. I didn't know what it was, because I didn't see it on my screen, like popping up or something. And like usually when somebody gives me a gift, it'll pop up. But that's cool. I do appreciate that. Anyway, so yeah, the infrastructure is all there. It's everything's there. They're slowly turning it, and if you can open your eyes and see what's happening, is this huge infrastructure is being laid down to basically put us in a digital prison where the currency is tied with your digital ID. And I watched a beautiful. So Greeks have a word for ultimate love, higher spiritual unity, divine love, which is called agape. They have another word for love for material, temporary things, and I don't know exactly what that is. I'd have to look it up. But it's amazing that we only have one word here in the English language for love. Love is love. It don't matter what it is. It's love, love, love. Well, the ancients knew that there was a different kind of love, and that is the spiritual, highest, divine form of love. Okay, and when the opposite, this is what's wild. Listen to this. The opposite of agape, which is the divine, spiritual, highest form of love, is any type of self-identity. Basically, if you identify with this temporary flesh bag as anything other than what it is, which is just a temporary tool that you're using. If you identify with this temporary body, this false fake light, this false realm, that is the opposite of agape. Okay? Now, look at this. Now, look what they're trying to do. They're trying to implement a digital ID, okay, which is, even though we're all one, we're all doing this, so we're really kind of doing this to ourselves. But I look at it like this. Even though we're all one body, it even says this in the scripture, okay? Even though we're all one body, just as your body has different cells and can have cancerous cells, that's like the same thing as like somebody who is trying to kill people or trying to do bad things to children or whatever. I would look at that person, even though they're all part of our body, we're all part of the same unity, we're all tied together in the same lights or the illuminations. I would look at that as a cancerous cell, okay? And just as the body can cleanse itself of trash and cancerous cells, so too do people like get locked up that are doing that crazy stuff and stuff like that. But that's a lot to say, and it's a hefty claim, but that's kind of my view on things and how things are. A recap of this live, guys, will be on YouTube. The audio will be in my Telegram group. I have exclusive content on all my social medias, which are linked on my profile page of TikTok, including my website, which I have spent the last 12 or 13 years gathering all kinds of esoteric knowledge and encrypted stuff to put on there for y'all to like help you on your paths to try to find truth and light in this crazy world that is trying to bind us all and keep us blind, thinking that we are worthless, accidental, created monkeys spinning aimlessly on a ball that have no point other than to basically consume. And that's how we are brought up to be divided. We're brought up as trying to be consumers. Not understanding any of the games that are played before us. But circling way back, those are some of the topics that I'm currently studying, including recently the Star of Remfa, which is the Star of David, which is that whole sect in the Torah, which is like, oh my gosh, I had no clue. I've studied a lot of conspiracy theories out there, and I had no clue that the stuff that I'm studying now about Israel and its people, the chosen, quote unquote, chosen ones, about pushing anti-Semitism and anybody who talks about that kind of stuff. I'm starting to uncover the onion that is really going on about that stuff, and I can tell you it is a very, very weird, crazy winding path when you start going down that road and actually read the stuff that the Israelites, I don't know about Israelites, but the current Jewish people that are reading the Torah, the stuff that their law is promoting, and the stuff that their guidelines and their rails teaching them about who we are, the people who the promise got passed on to, the promise of the Holy Spirit, because of the way they are. And then, like, oh my gosh, I don't know if y'all have heard the translations of the guy with the little mustache, like the new stuff with AI. I remember seeing a lot of the old videos of him yelling on stage and sounding crazy, and German sounds crazy to me. It does. It really does. But with the new stuff with the way AI's going and able to like translate stuff instantly, that when the guy was playing, when if you listen to some of his speeches now, he and I'm telling you, it gets crazy, it gets deep, it gets wild. Apparently Auschwitz had a library, a zoo, a swimming pool. The chambers were used for delousing. Like that's not what's allowed to be promoted out. And it is such an unfortunate truth that what is popular is not true, and what is true is not popular. Like, and for some reason it has to be that way. It has to be where if it's popular, it's not true, and if it's true, it ain't popular. And that's how I look at my walk on this platform. For instance, when I start speaking some of that hard truth that TikTok don't want me to put out about chemtrails, which is funny because they're out there in the public saying they're pumping chemtrails in the sky. They're out there saying they're modifying the weather. They're out there saying that climate control climate control exists, and climate modification exists, and global warming is a hoax. Like, these are all publicly available things that anybody can find. But you start saying it, you start talking, it just boggles my mind of how you can sit here on one hand and I can show all the backed up documentation, all the proof, all the anything, and it's just such a stupid game. I'll put a video up, they'll instantly ban it, and then I have to appeal it, and then I win, but then all my traffic's gone, and it's just like, I have so much more in this life that I would rather do. And this is a very unfortunate side effect that affects all of y'all, because I've reached millions of people, and because I get throttled down so heavily on this freaking platform, I cannot reach the millions of people that I could if I was doing something different that wasn't quite, or that was more acceptable, like picking my nose and watching somebody fall down the steps and break their arm and stuff like that. That's more acceptable than talking about what's really happening in the earth and your health and in life and stuff like that. And it just, it sucks, sometimes. And it's hard on my heart, but that's the way it is, and you can't lead everybody to water, but you can sure show them where it is. What is up, Clay? It's been so long, man. I just got over a crazy 30-minute rant. I don't even think I might have taken a breath or something in there. How is life? This is my second time I've been live here in about 11 months. I took a break, but I have been busy. I've been still helping people on, as they email me. Been giving people guidance and checking in my Telegram group and everything like that. Oh, you did? That's good. I'm glad you caught the last few minutes of it. I'm glad to see you here. Yeah, I'm back. I had a video, a great one that I was getting ready to make, and I've got to figure out this. Like, I got robbed on AI twice, because I'm trying to make a certain type of video that's explaining our three different bodies: our natural body, our spiritual body, and our commercial body. And it sucks with this AI because it's like a random generator. It's just like rolling the dice, and they just charge you so much to roll the dice, because you got to pay for the platform. And you go up and like, I want to put that out so TikTok can ban it or whatever they want to do. And I was actually surprised they allowed my last video to go out the way it did. Just blocking radio frequencies and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm still here and live and kicking and loving life, and I haven't been cloned. I haven't been offed. I'm still pumping and trying to help everybody the best I can with all the knowledge and the information that I have. And so again, guys, feel free to ask any and all questions. That's what this time is set aside for. That's what I come on here. So I've talked about the digital ID, the digital currency, the digital infrastructures and stuff like that. And then the other major topic that I want to talk about that I do love, because like I said, I've been studying women's psychology and men's psychology, is talking about the divine masculine and divine feminine energy. Like, that is kind of one of those things that, oh, let me tell y'all, this is funny. I stepped on goose poop today, and I didn't know it. I walked into my ex's house, and we were doing some stuff, and we started looking. We were like, what is this huge giant green spot that's on the carpet? And then there's another one, and another one, and it was the shape of a heart. It was the shape of a big heart, and I got a big foot. Not huge. I mean, almost 12-inch. But this thing, I stamped a green goose poop heart, like, all through the house. I walked all through there. Normally I'd been taking off my shoes. I just cleaned the front of the porch too, so everything was all clean and you could see everything. And I've been so busy because I had to go help somebody with an estimate on a job, and I had to drop my son off, and like I was moving quick, and I just ran in and out, and then next thing I know, oh my gosh, there was so much goose poop, everywhere. But all right, so back to the topic at hand. I just thought that was funny. Y'all get a kick out of that. All right, masculine and feminine energy, and some of the things that I've been coming to realization on is how we are divinely kind of interlocked in the way that we operate. And I thought this was it's so funny to me that both men and women in a pure carnal attraction are attracted to things that mean absolutely nothing in whether or not a mate is good at all. Like, that blew my mind. Now, I mean, I have so many things that blow my mind. Like, but when I found out, like, for instance, and I'll give you an example, because guys know this for sure. They can see a girl from all the way across the room, and she looks hot. Like, and it's like, oh yeah, I want her, I gotta have her, gotta be like, here's my wedding ring, what can I do for you, babe? Let me drink your bath water, on and on and on. And they don't know nothing about her. Just because she's hot has absolutely nothing to do on whether or not she's a decent human, whether or not she's a good person, or has a kind heart or great personality, none of that stuff. So that's for the men. Well, guess what's coming next? I got something for the women, right? So women, their biological design, the way that they're attracted. Invite Dolly Cardona to co-host. This friend is live now. I don't think I'm gonna do that. So this one's for the women. So women are biologically designed to be attracted to masculine energy, which is basically bad boys, okay? Which is more like, going against the rules, the laws, and it ends up backfiring because women are attracted to guys that are masculine, which are basically unruly. Like, that's what women's feminine energy is, to tame that. That is kind of what women's fantasies are, is to tame that beastly energy. Not some limp pushover guy, some dominant monster beast guy. Like, that's what a woman's feminine energy is kind of designed for. But here's what's funny and wild about that, is because that's what women are attracted to, that actually is the opposite of, oddly enough, of whether or not a guy is going to be good in a relationship. Like, where Sweet Rescuer, what is up? How are you doing? Nice to see you. I know you can attest, all of us can attest to this, because that's the truth, and that's what I thought was so funny, is that men want chicks like they're just attracted to, that has nothing to do with whether or not they're good human. And women are attracted to men just because they're bad to the bone, and then they end up getting knocked up, and the guy just leaves them because they're bad to the bone. They're not going to pay for kids. They're not going to look back. They're just going to and then it ends up backfiring on both of us. Like, the men, because we're not using our logic brain, we're just going off the humming. You've been listening for a while. Oh, you just been hiding? Why you? you feel like coming out all of a sudden. A lot of people can relate to, the masculine and feminine energy stuff that I've been studying, and as I was going down the the learning, it actually fascinated me. Because I had never in my life understood. I have had absolutely no problem in my life getting a girl. Like, hands down, not a nair, not a problem, right? But keeping one is a whole nother story. And I keep them for 3 months, 5 months, 2 years, 4 years, all over the scale, all in between. But I still never studied how a woman works, because me as being a logical breakdown, I'll say, hey, let me spend a little bit of time, since I'm studying everything else on the earth. Let me these crazy chicks. Let me study a little bit about that. And when I started diving in, it blew my mind. It was absolutely fascinating. It was cool. It was cool understanding how y'all are biologically designed, and going off emotion based operations. Off of feelings, like, versus being logical. And when you start interlocking, like, for instance, what I mean by interlocking is when you have, like, divine feminine and divine masculine teaming up together, and it plays out. It's weird. It's almost like it's like yin and yang. For example, like that's how good of a lock. How can I show this right? Like this. Boop, boop, boop. That's how good of a lock it can be if you have the right energies together for masculine and feminine. And what blew my mind was also learning why divorces happen. And what's kind of wild is your typical man is just so happy to get that one thing. That one thing, right? That one thing that every guy wants every single day, all day, that once they start getting it, and this is what's wild. There's an unwritten rule where a guy shouldn't try to make any life-changing rules within a year after hooking up with a chick, because after 1 year, the masks fade off, the amazingness fades off, and it kind of blows my mind that it takes a whole year before a guy's kind of like, oh wow, wakes up out of the trance of, I can't believe I'm getting lucky, and so so after, what ends up happening, and this blew my mind too, about learning about divorces. Clay Coley, movies and TV definitely had a hand in programming us into a false form of love. Yes, and what's wild about that is movies and TV, and even moms, which kind of sucks. Everybody, one of the worst things they teach guys is happy wife, happy life. And here's why. And it took me a while to learn this. When you end up giving, so here's what happens. Here's your typical broad brush stroke. Now, granted, guys, every single relationship is different, all right? Every human's different, and we're all the same at the same time. So this is a broad brush. Every relationship is roughly like this. A guy hooks up with a chick, and she could be hot. Typically that's what, a guy wants. He only cares if she's like the hottest thing ever. He feels so lucky that's it. That's it for him. He's just like, I got a girl. I feel so lucky. I'm good. Women are infinitely more complex because they can bear children. So they're on another biological level where they're actually constantly basically assessing your tone of voice. If you look even from an age of a little girl, they're playing dolls, okay? Girls are playing house. They're learning social structure and social order and understanding society. Guys are just picking their nose and trying to burn frog butts. Like girls from childhood are starting to understand mommy daddy roles, kitchen house, like all that stuff from just a very, very early age. And so your typical broad brush stroked relationship, when a guy hooks up, he's just so happy to be getting some that he don't care. He's like, baby, what you need? Yeah, you keep giving me love, and like, what you want? You want a new car? You want a house? Like, you want me to go crawl on my hands and knees? Which, and then what ends up happening, and this is a biological part of women's nature, is they actually running on acid. They're running on a software that is basically for acid extraction, because that's how a woman can survive. Like, they're biologically designed to try to take care of women or themselves and children. So they have to try to get resources, whether that's seed or money or energy or effort or whatever. It's just, it is what it is, and that's just how they operate. And it's nothing against women. It's just how they are designed. So what ends up happening is when they have a man that is being an absolute soft pushover all day, every day. Yes, baby, what can I do for you? Yes, oh, you want this? You want me to draw the bath water? You want me to go over here? You want me to get you some water? You want me to, like, it actually ends up, the woman ends up starting to test the man and be more and more masculine and then and even in small doses it might seem innocent. For instance, like the couple's calendar will be the couple's calendar, and then the woman will start saying, well, let's just start doing this, and the guy's like, yeah, babe, yeah, let's just go ahead, and then it becomes her calendar, and then she starts controlling it, and then she starts doing purchasing, and then slowly it will get to the point where a man, yes, women get bored, and slowly it'll get to the point where the man is asking the woman if he can even leave the house to go get mustard or something like that. Like, and it's like, yes, my slave, you can go to the store to get mustard, and it's just kind of like, it ends up putting a woman into a very bored state, because now they've got this simp little goon doing anything for them, and one of the most powerful things that you can actually do to a woman is set boundaries and stand on your square and be masculine. Like, and women don't get that, because your typical guy is just so happy to get laid that they'll do anything and everything to keep that up, And so when I learned that that's what the bulk majority of divorces are from women, and then I started diving in and finding out why, and it was simply because because the man is doing everything they ask, that's why they leave. And it's like, yep. And it's like, what? That's wild. And it's in our nature to want to do that, but it ends up backfiring, because the woman starts embodying the masculine energy, because the guy ain't being a man. The guy's being a little follower, letting the woman be the leader. And that's not how the divine masculine and feminine energy intertwine. And I will now lay out how it's supposed to be intertwined. The divine masculine feminine energy is kind of laid out like this. A man finds rest in his woman. For whatever reason, guys, like, don't blame me. I didn't design this. I mean, I might have. We're all part of the creator, so maybe I did. I mean, I like women, so. But anyway, a man finds rest in his woman, okay? And a woman is supposed to find rest in what the man has laid for a foundation and a roof, almost like a clam. Like, the woman is supposed to be the pearl inside of the clam. A guy is supposed to provide a cover for a woman's wild energy, but not restrictive to the point where it chokes them out, but just kind of like, allows for a foundation and a roof over the woman. And that's what a woman finds rest in. A woman finds rest in what a man provides. Oh, I'm blaring with the horn. So anyway, that is it. That's the yin and yang, guys. Like, that's what will help you out tremendously. So, it took me a long time. I've even helped, like, some of the younger kids that, from my friends' kids and stuff that are growing up and becoming adults. Because one thing that really kills guys is we're very visually based. So when they start watching that P on the internet, and you have unlimited access to dime piece chicks by the billions that will do anything, that you can look up and watch them do anything, second by second by second by second by second. It's like, oh, I want a chick with bigger things. Oh, I want one with higher waist. I want a different skin color. Like, boom, boom, boom. And then you look at all that, and then you look at your basic girlfriend over there, and it's like, huh, I'm gonna go back over here, and it ends up playing a toll on people as well, like that unlimited access to instant stuff. So, sweet rescuer. So I went down somewhat of this rabbit hole when I looked up my horoscope. What? What are you talking about? What kind of happened on that? Pumping? I saw many times how the man provides and cares, but she cheats and looks for better options. Yes, just because a guy is providing a foundation and a roof, that does not mean that that's it. That's if she didn't find rest, that means she didn't find rest. That's not the guy that she wants. That means the guy wasn't being masculine enough, or wasn't challenging her enough, or wasn't. And this sucks, guys. It just is what it is. Like, because a woman's software is running off of asset extraction, if a guy isn't providing entertainment anymore, or amusement, or funds, or money. I'm not saying this is every girl, okay? This is just kind of broad brush stroked, okay? Because they've done studies, and 75% of the time in these women chat groups, they're talking about how they can extract more resources from men. Like, they talk about men like they're worthless, basically goon slaves. Like, if you go on some of these TikToks and you see 10 billion guys just throwing in likes, hearts, drooling face, or whatever, because a girl made her butt clap. It just goes to show you right there. Yeah, like that's a 78 million freaking simps right there. But if a woman, and this is what's weird, the more that you provide. So, all right, let me relate it to you like this. As we are designed to find value in what is scarce, okay? And if a man is offering too much attention, too much love, too much yes ma'am, too much this, that, and that, it's rejected. And women will sit there and tell you, like, they don't know why they do it. It's biologically the way women are designed, okay? Yep, not you. What do you mean, yep, not you? If some women do like affection to an extent, but we find value in what is scarce, and that's why there's something called manufactured lack and manufactured obsolescence, is because a lot of these companies know. That's why they try to get you to press the button. They're like, sale ends in 13 seconds, hurry up. They get you in that mind of scarcity, even though there's an abundance of money, there's abundance of diamonds, there's abundance of gold, there's abundance of everything, but we are intrinsically hardwired to accept that if something is more scarce, it has more value, okay? So when a guy does everything and anything for a woman, he ends up becoming nothing more to her than a piece of furniture in the house, okay? Because a guy typically wants very simple things, and a woman is just infinitely complex when it comes to their biological design, because of the fact that they can raise children and they're more in tune with children and all that stuff. But Sweet Rescuer, it said Geminis get bored easily and changes relationships, etc. Yep. I mean, that's like every woman. When I first started learning about dating women, like studying, which was recently. Like I'm old. I'm 44, I think. 40. I might be 40. I'm 44 or 43. I don't even know. Born in 82. So whatever that is. I don't even care about numbers. Like I've always been terrible with numbers. I don't care about them. So if man, I'm so old. I done forgot my daggone train of thought, and I'm gonna cut this out of the video clip. But do you remember what the heck I was talking about? Because I was trying so much to think about my daggone my how old I am. Pumpkin. If you think about it, love will get you friends. Only to party, but fear gets stuff done. And you know what? That is actually, that's how a lot of, making booty clap and get galaxy. Yeah, TikTok it's all for entertainment. And that's why if it's popular, it's not true. And if it's true, it's not popular, which is unfortunate for me, because I like spreading the truth. I like trying to do the best I can to try to give y'all the knowledge and the tools to help y'all in life. And it's like, that ain't what's wanted out there. That's not what these big businesses want, But these corporations do know that fear will drive you away. And what's funny is back in the day, and I said this I think in a live a few ago, McDonald's for instance, they know back in the day they used to put really hard furniture in their restaurant, and used really bright colors because they know that would drive people away. Now it's nothing but a fight for your attention and business. So now they're like, free Wi-Fi, we got cushions in here, come on in, get these burgers, we'll give you a massage, homeboy. Because everybody's all about business. Just keep the cheeks in check, sir. I am so lucky that I inherited the most beautiful grandpa butt from my mom. You know, my mom's got one of those negative butts that look like it's like it owes money to people and stuff like that. Like it's like the pockets touch and stuff like that. I've done. Luckily, I'm built somewhat athletic, so like I've done a few squats back in my day, so I got a little something something, but I still got some of that. Yeehaw! Y'all loving this. I got a little bit of that negative butt going on back there. So, but I still shake what my mama gave me, and I sure ain't getting no galaxies. That's for sure. I mean, on general, like if I was a smoking hot that's funny. I think that's how I kind of started on this journey. Is I couldn't believe this girl. She was cute. She was giving false information, and I couldn't believe my videos were getting like 200, and she was getting I don't know 300, 400,000 views because she's cute and she was giving false information. So I was like, let me help this out, and it did. It kind of threw my career on TikTok anyway out there a little bit. So. All right, guys, guess what? I've had a lot of fun. I've talked about the two main subjects. If there's anything that y'all want to ask about, please feel free. We're getting close to an hour. That's about how long before my voice starts getting kind of mad at me for getting on here and yelling and being goofy and all that stuff. But I do have a lot of fun. I love coming on here and helping talk to you guys. I appreciate all the gifts. Thank you so much. Your gifts will be used to help others. Thank you, Amisa. You'll help me on my journey. A recap of this live will be on YouTube. The audio will be in my Telegram group. Feel free to browse through all of my social medias, which are linked on my profile page. I have exclusive content on all of them. I have my website there linked as well, and you can email me, DM me. I give free consultations too for anybody on a case-by-case basis, and that is in equity and in love. Pumpkin. Do you think being authentic is productive or for humanity? What if we need to wear masks? Authentic is the most influential way that you can be. One of the most important things you can always think about is your come from, who you are and who you want to be. That resonates. If you're coming from a place of peace and overflowing, it will resonate outwards. If you are coming from a place of scarcity and lack and fear and all that stuff, like it resonates out, and people can feel that stuff and feed off of it. So you always want to be authentic to the best that you can. Now, I say that, but you also have to understand that a lot of people cannot handle assets. A lot of people cannot handle that they're being sprayed with nanoparticles, or that their food is being laden with stuff that will kill them slowly, or it's petroleum-based products that they're pumping in their medical system, or that the public fool system was created by the Rockefellers and funded that way, or on and on and on. So that's why we are trained when we come to a higher level to teach everybody on their own level. It's not trying to be disingenuous. It's trying to be properly. It's trying to be a proper teacher and guidance on the level that everybody can handle. Okay, because everybody's at a different stage in their own walk. Just like a baby, you can't throw down a T-bone steak boom in front of a baby and be like, chew up, cuz. No, you've got to feed the baby milk, right? You've got to plant seeds, and you've got to offer a safe space to allow someone to start to digest and allow it to grow, But in genuine, they've done studies. Being authentic is the most powerful, influential come from that you can be, and that is one of the ways and reasons why a lot of people get deceived, is because half knowledge gets disseminated, especially by the controlling opposition of funded protocols created to put people on databases for if they're trying to learn some of this stuff, so that the government can watch them, because they just don't know what you're going to do, and they want to make sure that they know you're in a separate category and stuff like that. So, but since they sprinkle disinformation and people love running with it, like putting a lien on your straw man and creating a bond and all that stuff that's going to send you to jail, which I've watched people do for decades. People believe it because it has a little bit of truth in it, and because they believe it and they talk about it, it's very easy to be deceived by that stuff. So it's always important to fact check and to bounce stuff and do your own research. I've laid a lot of videos out, especially on my playlist, that can help all you guys. And if you basically fact check anything that I had someone come on my TikTok and was like, this is all a load of blah blah blah, and I was like, okay, cool. Show your proof of claim that it's false, and I'll show you any proof of claim that everything that I'm stating is backed by fact. And it was ha 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 ha, and then that was it. It was like, cool, all right, carry on. Anyway, nice to see you too, you beautiful thing. I'm glad that you're out there. Maybe we should side chat sometime. It's been a little while. I think you disappeared on Insta and stuff like that. Like, I don't know what happened to you. I think you're still on Facebook though. I see some of your stuff sometimes. All right, so anyway, I guess that's it, guys. It's been about an hour. I appreciate you. Love you. Again, if y'all want to watch this, be on YouTube, and the audio will be in my Telegram group. Please reach out if you need anything. Appreciate everything y'all do. Love you guys, and I'll catch you next time. I'll be in Florida, so it might be a couple weeks before I get back on. Anyway, peace out, peace, love, hair grease in the Middle East, and all that jazz.